Have you ever wondered why some people, even in their late 70s or 80s, still seem to have that spark? You know, the ones they're up early, full of life, walking their dogs, tending to their gardens, remembering birthdays, and telling stories with crystal clear our minds. And then there are others, people the same age or even younger, who struggle to get through the day. They're tired all the time, forgetful, often sick, and just not themselves anymore. Now let me ask you something a bit more personal. Which of those two would you rather be? Because here's the truth. Aging is inevitable, but how you age, that, my friend, is deeply influenced by the small, consistent choices you make every single day. And one of the biggest game changers, what you eat. You see, after 60, your body isn't working the same way it did when you were 30 or 40. Your cells repair slower, your immune system isn't as strong, your digestion changes, and yes, your memory might feel like it's playing hide and seek some days. But instead of feeling frustrated, let's look at this another way. What if you could feed your body the exact nutrients it's craving at this stage in life? What if the secret to feeling more energized, thinking more clearly, sleeping better, and even living longer was sitting right there in your fruit bowl? I'm talking about 5 powerful fruits. Fruits that have been studied, praised, and even used for generations to support the body as it ages. These aren't trendy superfoods from across the globe. They're simple, they're accessible, and they're incredibly effective when added to your routine. Now don't worry, I'm not here to lecture you or throw a bunch of complicated health jargon your way. This video is like a heart-to-heart with a friend. Together, we're going to uncover the top 5 fruits that seniors, yes, you should be eating every single day to protect your heart, boost your memory, support digestion, fight disease, and feel alive again. Some of these fruits you may already know. Others, you might be skipping them without realizing how powerful they truly are. And let me tell you, by the end of this video, you won't just know which fruits to eat, you'll know why they matter, how to enjoy them easily, and what small shifts can completely transform the way you feel. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and stick with me for the next few minutes. This could be the most important video you watch this week, maybe even this year. And hey, before we dive in, I'd love to know, comment below and type, "I'm here for longevity," if you're ready to take your health seriously starting today. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Insight. This is where we talk real, share the truth, and support each other through every beautiful stage of life. Let's begin with a fruit that's small in size but mighty when it comes to your mind. Blueberries. I want to tell you about Margaret. She's 68, retired, and living a peaceful life in the suburbs. Every morning she'd sit at her kitchen table, flipping through the paper, sipping her tea, and adding just a handful of blueberries to her oatmeal. Nothing fancy, no big health kick. She just liked the taste. 6 months later, during a regular checkup, her doctor was stunned. Her memory scores, they'd improved. Not just a little, but noticeably. Her focus was sharper. Her recall was better. And the only major change she'd made, those blueberries. Now here's what most people don't realize. Blueberries aren't just a sweet treat. They're brain food. They're loaded with something called anthocyanins, a fancy name for the natural compounds that give them their deep blue color. But these compounds do more than look pretty. They protect your brain cells from oxidative stress, which is one of the main culprits behind age-related memory loss and cognitive decline. Think of them as little shields, defending your brain from the wear and tear of time. And here, as the amazing part, this isn't just hearsay. Research backs it up. Seniors who consume blueberries regularly show improvements in memory, focus, and even decision M. That's not a coincidence. That's science in action. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Fruit is fruit, right? Why not just have a banana or an apple? But here's the truth. Not all fruits support brain health the same way. Some offer fiber, some give you vitamin C, But blueberries, they go straight to the brain. They target the areas that matter most as we age, like the hippocampus, the center of learning and memory. And don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to eat bowls and bowls of them. Even just half a cup a day can make a real difference over time. If fresh berries are out of season or hard to find, no problem. Frozen blueberries work just as well. Toss them into your morning smoothie. Sprinkle them on your cereal or just snack on a few by the handful while watching your favorite show. It's easy, it's delicious, and it's one of the kindest things you can do for your mind. But while blueberries feed the brain, the next fruit on our list does something just as important. It helps keep your heart young. And after 60, your heart needs all the support it can get. The humble apple. You've heard it before. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's one of those old sayings we tend to brush off like a nursery rhyme from another time. But for George, 73, it wasn't just a saying. It became his reality. George had always struggled with high cholesterol. He tried cutting back on fried foods, walked every other day, even took his medication faithfully. But it wasn't until his daughter suggested he start snacking on apples daily that things truly started to change. Just one crisp apple every afternoon. Nothing dramatic. After 3 months, his numbers dropped. His doctor raised an eyebrow and asked, "What have you been doing differently?" George just smiled and said, "I've been listening to my daughter. Here's why that small change made such a big difference. Apples are loaded with soluble fiber, especially a type called pectin. This fiber binds to cholesterol in the gut and helps remove it from the body before it can clog up your arteries. On top of that, apples are rich in polyphenol, powerful plant compounds that reduce blood pressure and inflammation, 2 major contributors to heart disease. And here's the part most folks miss. The magic is in the skin, that shiny outer layer we sometimes peel away. That's where many of the antioxidants and nutrients live. But I get it. Some seniors say the skin is tough to chew. That's a valid concern. So here's a simple solution. Slice your apples thin. Pair them with a bit of almond butter or even a sprinkle of cinnamon for a fiber-rich, heart-friendly snack that's not only easier to chew but incredibly satisfying. This tiny habit, this one apple, can play a real role in keeping your arteries clean and your heart strong. And the best part, it doesn't require pills, gym memberships, or complicated routines. Just a fruit you've known all your life, doing more than you ever realized. But while apples help your heart pump strong, there's another fruit that works quietly behind the scenes, supporting digestion and strengthening your immune system as you age. Let's take a closer look at the power of papaya. Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked in our later years. Digestion. It may not sound exciting, but when your gut isn't working right, nothing feels right. Let me tell you about Joan. She's 65, active, and always the one organizing book club meetings and neighborhood potlucks. But behind that bright smile, she struggled quietly with bloating, irregular digestion, and that heavy, uncomfortable feeling after meals. Doctors called it just part of aging. But Joan wasn't ready to accept that. Then, one afternoon, while chatting with a friend over tea, someone suggested she try papaya. She was skeptical at first. "Tropical fruit? Isn't that just for vacation buffets?" she said with a laugh, but she gave it a shot. Just a small bowl of ripe papaya each morning. Within days, she felt the difference. Her stomach felt lighter, the bloating eased, she had more energy in the afternoons. For Joan, papaya didn't just help her digestion, it brought her daily comfort back. Here's what makes papaya so special. It contains a natural enzyme called papain. This enzyme helps your body break down protein more efficiently, which becomes incredibly important as we age, and digestion slows down. Instead of food sitting heavily in your stomach, papaya helps move things along gently, naturally, and effectively. But that's not all. Papaya is also packed with vitamin C, one of the best nutrients for boosting your immune system. In fact, a single cup of papaya has more vitamin C than an orange. So, while it's helping your stomach, it's also strengthening your body's defense system, warding off colds, infections, and even inflammation. Now, some people think of papaya as a luxury fruit, something you eat only when it's offered at a hotel breakfast or on a cruise. But here's the truth. For seniors, papaya can be a daily necessity, a quiet helper that works behind the scenes to keep your body feeling balanced and supported. And the best part, it's incredibly easy to enjoy. Cut it into cubes and have a small bowl mid-morning, or toss it into your blender with a bit of yogurt and a splash of water for a smooth, gentle drink that soothes your gut and boosts your health. So, if you've been struggling with digestion, don't just reach for another antacid. Give your body what it's actually asking for. Something natural, healing, and kind. Now, speaking of keeping your immune system strong, there's another fruit that doesn't look like much at first glance, but inside it's bursting with power. Something simple, something bright, something you probably grew up with. Oranges. Sweet, juicy, familiar, but don't let that simplicity fool you. This fruit is one of the most powerful tools you can give your body, especially after 60. Take Samuel, for example. He's 71, a proud grandfather of 5, and a retired electrician who loves his morning walks. But winter used to knock him down every year. Runny nose, nagging cough. Days spent in bed feeling drained and weak. It became a pattern, one he dreaded. That was until his daughter started bringing him fresh oranges from the farmer's market every week. He started his mornings with a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice. Sometimes with the pulp, sometimes just a whole orange peeled and sliced with breakfast. That winter, Samuel barely sniffled. And it's not magic, it's nutrition. Oranges are loaded with vitamin C, one of the most essential nutrients for a strong immune system. Vitamin C supports the production of white blood cells, your body's natural army that fights off infections. But it doesn't stop there. Oranges are also rich in potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure, and folate, a B vitamin crucial for heart and brain health. All these together create a perfect storm of protection, helping your bodies defend itself from colds, viruses, and even long-term chronic conditions. Now here's where some folks go wrong. They grab a carton of orange juice from the grocery store, pour a big glass, and think they're doing their body a favor. But most store-bought juices, they're full of added sugar, stripped of fiber, and far from what nature intended. That's why I always recommend going straight to the source. Eat the whole orange, or if you love juice, make it fresh at home. Keep the pulp for fiber and avoid anything that says, from concentrate. This small change makes a big difference. 1 orange a day. So simple, so natural, and yet so protective. And here's something beautiful to think about. When you nourish your body daily with these small, intentional choices, you're not just preventing illness, you're building resilience. You're preparing your body for the seasons ahead, making sure you stay strong, energized, and ready for every memory you still want to make. But we're not done yet. There's one more fruit I want to share with you today. It's red. It's often underestimated, and yet it might just be one of the most powerful allies you have when it comes to aging well. Let's talk about a fruit that's not just beautiful to look at, but incredibly powerful inside. Pomegranate. Bright red jewel-like seeds that burst with flavor, and for many seniors, a burst of relief and renewed vitality. Helen is one of those people. She's 69, a retired school teacher who loves tending her garden. But over the years, she began noticing something troubling. Her legs would ache after just a short walk. Sometimes they'd feel heavy, almost numb, like the blood just wasn't flowing right. Her doctor told her it was a circulation issue, common at her age. She tried compression socks, elevated her legs, stayed active, but the discomfort lingered. Then a neighbor suggested something unusual: pomegranate juice. Helen wasn't convinced. "Is that really going to help my legs?" she asked. But she gave it a shot. 3 times a week she had a small glass of fresh pomegranate juice. No added sugar, just pure juice. And after a few weeks the tightness started to ease. Her morning walks didn't feel like a chore. She had better energy in her legs and her heart. It felt lighter, too. There's real science behind this. Pomegranates are loaded with polyphenol and natural nitrates, plant compounds that support your blood vessels by improving blood flow and relaxing arteries. They reduce inflammation and protect the lining of your blood vessels, which is crucial as we get older. Better circulation means less pain, more movement, and even a healthier heart and brain. But here's the thing. Many people avoid pomegranates because they seem messy or hard to open. And sure, they're not quite as easy as peeling a banana, but they're worth every bit of effort. Still, if you prefer convenience, you've got options. You can buy pre-packaged pomegranate arrows, those little ruby red seeds, all ready to eat. Sprinkle them over your oatmeal, toss them in a salad, or just eat them with a spoon while you relax in the afternoon sun. Even better, add a splash of unsweetened pomegranate juice to your water a few times a week. It adds color, flavor, and a powerful boost to your circulation, all in one glass. This fruit may be ancient, but its benefits are more relevant than ever, especially for those of us navigating the later chapters of life, when blood flow, energy, and vitality become things we start to notice more and more. So, 5 fruits, 5 natural healing gifts from the earth. Each one doing something different, but all working together toward one beautiful goal, helping you live stronger, longer, and better. But before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to talk about what this all really means. Not just the fruits themselves, but the deeper truth behind them. Let's slow down and reflect together. It's not easy, is it? Coming to terms with the fact that your body just doesn't move the way it used to. Maybe you've noticed the slower mornings, the joints that ache more often, the energy that runs out quicker than it did before. And deep down, sometimes there's a quiet fear, a fear of becoming dependent, of losing control over your own health, your own life. You're not alone. So many people over 60 feel this way. But don't say it out loud, because aging, for all its wisdom and experience, can feel like a series of goodbyes. But here's what I want to remind you of. You're still in charge. Every single day, with every single choice, you have the power to change the story. And that power, it starts right on your plate. You're not helpless, you're not too late, and you're certainly not done. The 5 fruits we talked about today, blueberries, apples, papaya, oranges, and pomegranate. They're not just foods. They're tools. They're quiet allies in your journey toward strength, clarity, and peace of mind. And you don't have to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Start small. Pick just one of these fruits. Add it to your day. Eat it slowly. Mindfully feel good knowing that with each bite, you're fueling your body with what it truly needs. Because it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Imagine waking up with more energy, feeling lighter in your steps, remembering things more clearly, going for walks without pain, laughing more often, worrying less. These aren't distant dreams. These are real outcomes that can start with the smallest shifts. And yes, you deserve this. You deserve to feel good in your body, to age with grace, with strength, with joy. So let me say this to you now. From one heart to another, it's never too late to start nourishing yourself. It's never too late to choose health. And it's never too late to believe in a brighter, more vibrant chapter ahead. Because aging isn't about decline. It's about deepening. It's about leaning into the wisdom you've gained and giving your body the care it's earned. So, let's keep going together because the best is still ahead. And now, let's gently recap what we've learned and talk about how you can take your next step forward today. Today we explored 5 powerful fruits, each one with its own special way of helping you thrive after 60. We talked about blueberries, the tiny brain boosters that sharpen memory and protect your mind. Apples, the humble heart helpers, keeping your blood pressure and cholesterol in check. Papaya, the digestive defender, easing bloating and making meals feel lighter and more enjoyable. Oranges, your immunity shield, packed with vitamin C to help fight off infections and keep you strong. And finally, pomegranate, the circulation champion, supporting blood flow and reducing that heavy, aching feeling in your legs. These aren't exotic fixes. They're simple, accessible changes you can make starting today. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these fruits do you already eat? And which one are you curious to try next? Let's talk. In the comments. Seriously, I read them and your stories always inspire me. Share what's working for you, and you just might encourage someone else in this community who really needs it. If this video gave you even one new idea, one fresh perspective, or just a little spark of motivation, go ahead and give it a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Insight. Every day, I share practical, heartfelt advice that helps you feel stronger, healthier, and more confident, no matter your age. Because here's the truth. Aging isn't about losing energy. It's about learning how to use your energy wisely. It's not about fading, it's about focusing. And when you surround yourself with the right habits, the right foods, and the right mindset, you glow differently. So take care of yourself. Be gentle, but be proactive. You've got so much life ahead. Make it vibrant, make it full, and most of all, make it yours. Stay wise, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video.